Bam! Bam! My peoples. My peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Y'all know what we doing, man. We talking boxing. We're going to do what we do, but let me verify over here we having some technical difficulties to kick off the show. It's live. Those things can happen. Want to make sure. Here we go, my peoples. Oh, y'all thought I was just going to drop off and disappear. No. We talking boxing, my peoples. I'm Jay Smith, and let me kick this show off by just saying, my peoples, it don't matter if it's hot, if it's cold, if it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's sunny. No matter the weather. If you up, if you breathing, it's a beautiful day, my peoples. Thank you, God, for giving us another one. Yes, sir. Let me give a shout out to those already in the building. Trent Thomas, salute family. Side in the building, Toy Mafia, and everybody else who tuned in. Yo, fellas, no ghost watching. Come on now. 2026, no ghost watching. Make sure you double tap that screen, man. Hit that like button. You already know what it is. We're going to do what we do. Kick this show off with Ryan Garcia, my peoples. What do you guys think about that statement? Ryan Garcia says that Terrence Crawford is overrated and that he could beat him up. He's better than Crawford. That's what Ryan Garcia believes. Crawford never really beat a generational talent. And Ryan is faster, stronger. He could beat him. And he will be able to move up to 154 to beat Terrence Crawford. That's what he said. His words, not mine. Come on now. Trent Thomas, if he knows what's good, he will let sleep and dragons sleep. That sound like wise words. LM, bro, what's this comedian? Listen, man, Ryan Garcia, he said it out his own mouth. I seen it. I'm not making it up out of thin air over here. And look, that's a quote from him directly. I don't think he's as good as people say he is. You could debate me on that, but I think I'm the better fighter. Those are words directly from Ryan Garcia, my peoples. Pasta track. At least he's game. I'm saying, Ryan Garcia's out there talking about he willing to fight Crawford and everything, but you know Crawford's retired, so I don't know if that's cap. I don't know, because we all know that Bud is retired, and he said he wasn't coming back. But look what Ryan Garcia is saying. He didn't look good in his last fight. Damn, I thought he looked real good against Canelo. I can fight him at 154. Crawford is overrated. I don't think he ever fought a generational talent in his life. I love you too. So Ryan Garcia, you can see that he's going hard body on Terrence Crawford, my peoples. Come on, man. Pasta trap. At least he's game. LM. His fast bat tank showed him he ain't got game. I mean, look. Right now, basically what Ryan Garcia is saying is that he could whoop Terrence Crawford. And that Terrence Crawford's overrated. That's what he said. Side. A retired bus stops Ryan in 3. I mean, look. I think Ryan is trolling when he says those things. I mean, does Ryan Garcia really believe that he could whoop Terrence Crawford? Does he really believe that? I don't know. I don't know that he believes that. Pasta track. I think Ryan's a different fighter than when he fought Tank. I mean, he is. And he's also physically bigger and stronger, mentally sharper, more experienced. So, yes, for sure. But still, man, how can he say that Terrence Crawford is a... And I think it's more about him not liking Bud, and that's why he makes that type of opinion. Because remember, he already has spoke about Crawford being a goofball for leaving the WBC or for doing what he did. And you know, Ryan Garcia, he's cool with Mauricio Sulaiman. You know, they gave him a title shot coming off of a loss, so that's his people's. So I'm pretty sure Mauricio Sulaiman like to see that. His WBC champion talking like that about Crawford. LM, I want to see Ryan Garcia versus the brother of Benavidez. I don't know. I don't think we'll see that fight. Benavidez brothers hasn't even been active. Trent Thomas, he can go ahead and fight Ennis then. There you go, fight Boots. You got it. You know, he's actually said that he don't think Boots is that good. He's made comments about Boots as well. Pasta track. Self-belief is our most powerful power. Side. Ryan is a goofball. I mean, I think it falls within the realm of goofballery to say that Terrence Crawford is a hype job. And that, you know, people think he's better than what he actually was. Like, come on, Ryan. Come on. I would not expect that type of comment from Ryan Garcia, my peoples. Them enforced, salute, family. That's my perception, right? My perception. Brascarell greeting from the main streets of North Omaha, Nebraska. We woke up early today. Salute, family. What do you think about Ryan Garcia saying that he could put the beats on Terrence Crawford? According to Ryan, Bud is a hype job, and he could beat him at 154 right now. 21 green light. What's up? It's time for boxing for breakfast. Salute, family. We up early. We talking boxing. We doing what we do, my peoples. Come on, man. Boy. My peoples. Aroma sound in the building. Salute, family. Pound. Damn, Brascarell, you could only laugh at that. Ryan Garcia says that Crawford is a hype job and that he could beat him. That's what he said. I seen him say it myself, my G. He believe it. But I think, look, honestly, I think Ryan Garcia, he don't like Terrence Crawford, or he kind of had to pick sides maybe, where you see that Crawford already said F the WBC. And meanwhile, the WBC is playing cool with Ryan. So we had, you know, I think that Ryan already kind of picked sides, and he's going to be going at Crawford in that direction. Pasta track, I'm a Ryan fan, and I think he's going to surprise people in the future. Demon Ford, nobody who knows boxing will believe Ryan. Ow. We need to stop giving people like Ryan energy to talk nonsense. Says anything to get a reaction. I'm Roe. Money talks. I don't think we ever going to see Crawford in the ring. Forget that. They asked him, what about 100 million? He was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. I got money. Devin Ford. Bo will beat the shit out of his legs. Boxing fanatical. Ryan is on a small campaign against black fighters, hanging with Benavidez to create a other side to the Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis brother love. Now he's trying to downplay Crawford for Canelo. I mean, it's crazy because he said that Crawford didn't look good in his last fight. And I'm like, yeah, he beat Canelo Alvarez, moving up 2 divisions, put the baits on him. How he didn't look good in his last fight? That's crazy. It's like he's saying anything at this point. Brascarell, King Ride. That's a negative Ghost Rider. Side. Ryan can't take body shots. If Bud touches his body, it's game over. He'll get done like Ndongo. Whoa. Ow. I like Ryan as a fighter. Just need to tone down to the circus act. Super Kyle, yes. He wants to imitate Connor. I don't know, man. I don't know. JP Hogali, Ryan Garcia would have no chance with Crawford. Ow, he lost to Rolly. Bust track. That was not an exciting fight though. Crawford Canelo. It was not an exciting fight that you was going for Canelo. I can't remember, you know. It's a while back. It's been months. But if you didn't find it exciting, you had Canelo knocking Crawford out. Of course you wasn't going to find it exciting. For me, it was mad exciting to watch that fight. It's like I told you guys before. If you're watching a basketball game and your team is losing by 50 points, you leave. You don't even sit down to watch the game because you know your team is cooked. So people leave early. But the people who's rooting for the team winning, they enjoy that beatdown. Boxing Fanatical, yes, it was Track. It was Track. Aroma Sound. I think the clip might be old if he said he didn't look good in his last fight. It had to be before the Canelo fight. Maybe he was talking, yeah, I think so. It could have been a clip after he fought Madrimov. Then before I have Conor Benn beating Ryan. And that fight might get made. Because supposedly Conor Benn was going to be his WBC mandatory, but you know, the whole Zuffa situation, Canelo's a golden boy. I mean, Ryan is a golden boy. So, obviously, Oscar De La Hoya and Dana White are not exactly best of friends these days. So, I don't know how that fight get made. Pugilism, but retired. Ryan can challenge Norfolk, Virginia. USSD. Silver Bullet Davis, a.k.a. the amazing Tidewater Silver Surfer, for his Bud-type fight. Whoa. 21 green light. I do not think that Ryan Garcia can beat Terence Crawford. I think it's Terry Crawford come back in the ring. He's knocking Ryan Garcia out in the first round. Whoa. Nick Matthew. Everyone saying Canelo was gonna knock Crawford out. This was unfair, moving 3 weight classes up. Oh man, it was a bad look for them. Yo, this is the craziest thing, and this has never happened. This has never happened, right? I started going live maybe a year and a half ago, right? Boxing for Breakfast is only like 8 months old, my peoples. Some guys told me, yo, Jay, I thought Boxing for Breakfast was years old. Nah, man, Boxing for Breakfast is 8 months old. We just getting started, my peoples. We're gonna blow up. But I digress. I'm looking at it like, since Boxing for Breakfast kicked off, you know how many people was telling me that Canelo was gonna knock Crawford out? How many people told me that Crawford was too little, Canelo was too strong, Canelo was gonna do this and that to Terence Crawford? This is the only time since I ever started going live that this happened. You guys know, a lot of you know that I've been saying that Crawford was gonna beat him and that Crawford was just gonna outbox him. It wasn't gonna be a fight where it was too close to call or Canelo got robbed or anything like that. No, it was going to be a clear, decisive win for Terence Crawford. I told you guys this. Yo, how like 45, 50 people unsubscribed from the channel the next day after the fight? They fought Saturday. Sunday, like 45, 50 people must have said, fuck Jay Smith. This motherfucker gave Canelo bad luck. Fuck him. I don't know what happened, bro. That's never happened. You know, I don't curse some people out, and a couple people subscribe after I curse their ass out. I get that. But damn, just because Canelo lost, like, bro, that's not my fault. Be mad at Crawford. How you going to be mad at me? Then before, sometimes I have a hard time finding your channel Because I be shadow banned, bro. I be getting shadow banned. The thing is, a lot of people be reporting me. I'm going to tone down on the cursing, y'all. Because I think a lot of people use anything I say, try to use it to report the channel. So I'm constantly being reported because of that. There's times that you might get the notification, and it's like, okay, I got the notification. If you didn't get the notification, then you know. I stay getting shadow banned. Look, right now I'm shadow banned. You see that it's 28 of us. Before I'm shadow banned, at this time, it could be 50, 60, 100. But they be playing with me, bro. Rascal snakes in the grass. Corn fed and hands spanked. Nick Matthew, why they shadow ban you? I don't know, man. Sometimes I be cursing people out and they report the channel right away. A bunch of people report the channel and it is what it is. I have to deal with it. Look what they did to Greg Hackett, bro. They got his channel taken down. There's people out there that they don't want somebody like me on the channel talking boxing. They disagree with me so hard that they don't want me on here. And they'll do shit to try to get you down. Damn it, Ford, the channel is nice. I appreciate it, my brother. Queen, I thought it was going to be closer. Maybe to a split decision. I didn't see it, man. I knew Terrence Crawford was going to do exactly what he did. That's what I expected. Just like with Errol Spence, I told people that Crawford was going to knock him out. Like, he going to knock out Errol in the 8th or the 9th. Raul Mercado, hater. Listen, I thought I was going to have haters like after becoming famous and shit. Like, okay, now I'm famous. I'm a celebrity. I got haters. But I'm not even famous yet. What the hell? These haters don't got somebody else to hate on? They running out of people to hate on me? Golly. Jay Peso, is Errol Spence done? I don't know yet. It's hard to answer that question because Errol himself has said, I'll come back when I'm ready. If he says I'll come back when I'm ready, I'm looking at that and I see it as he's planning on coming back. He don't have a timeline. He don't have a date, an opponent, anything like that, but that looks like he's planning on coming back. And I seen some pictures taken of him, recently. And he's jacked. You can see that he's in real good shape. He's going to the gym, working out. So you have to see. I don't know. I have a feeling that he's going to come back. That is not over for Errol Spence. I think that he doesn't want to go out like that. Took a nasty ass whoop and retired from boxing. I don't think he want to go out like that. I think he want to fight again. He want to get a win. He want to go out on a W. Like, look at Virgil Lomachenko. Virgil Lomachenko lost to Devin Haney, and he came back, fought, won a title, and retired a champion. Most fighters would love to retire like that. Win a title, I got a belt, I'm out of here, a world champion. And I'm not saying that Errol's going to grab a title. I don't know if he'll be able to, but I know that he wants to come back and grab a win. Trent Thomas, everybody underestimated Crawford, just like Hagler. You're good at what you do, indeed. Appreciate it, brother. Yo, listen, I'm glad that you bring Terrence Crawford up because he's the guy who was underestimated damn near his whole career. And then you saw the hate when he got to the welterweight division because now we started the whole other side of the street stuff. So now it's like, oh, he don't make money like that. He ain't fight nobody. He not a star. He not hating on him. A whole narrative about Terrence Crawford. And look what he ended up doing. Got to #1 pound for pound in the world. Undisputed in the 3rd division. The first boxer in history to do that. Come on now. What more can you say? Devin Ford. Ryan is clout chasing. He definitely doesn't want the smoke. Except for the bag. Ow. That car accident was horrible for Errol. Ronaldo. If they hate you doing something right, keep pushing, brother. I appreciate it, family. Yeah, I'm going to keep pushing. I mean, I wasn't expecting the hating this early on, bro. Like, let a nigga at least get on. Shit. Pasta track. Errol Spence is finished. Got smacked up like a bee and destroyed his confidence. Look, it's hard to say that losing to Terrence Crawford destroyed his confidence. And you have to understand, when you lose to the best out there, the number one guy out there, it doesn't mean anybody else could beat you. You lost to the best. You probably whoop everybody else. So you're hurt the day of the fight. You hurt, you just finished getting pummeled. Your feelings are hurt. And while you healing, you feeling down and out. But you recover from that. And that fight is over 2 years old. So mentally, Errol Spence is in the space. And Crawford is retired. It's not like he's going to be fighting him again. That's the only guy that we know for sure beats Errol. Everybody else we don't know. Nick Matthew. Keyshawn was wrong for attacking that guy, though. No need to beat people. He beat your brother fair in the ring. Beating someone like that is immature and assault. I mean, he didn't really beat him. In reality, based on what the guy said, he kind of shoved him a little bit, But I don't condone that. By the way, I don't condone that behavior. That was wrong. I think he let his emotions get the best of him. And look, they're paying the price. You want to see how they paying the price? His brothers had been fighting on his cards. Look now, both his brothers is fighting on a small venue, on a joint that I don't even know where it's going to be televised. They're not going to be on the Keyshawn Davis undercard. So you see, there's a little separation right there. Keyshawn is going to be doing his own joint. Watch. But you live and you learn. They can grow from that and be more professional when they run into some type of situation. Demon Ford. Spence is trying to figure out what happened in his last outing. Ow. His face looked different during that Crawford fight. I don't know. I didn't see it. I saw it look different after the Crawford fight. B. Wayne. Some troll showed something crazy to live on live and reported him. Yeah, man, they did Greg Hackett dirty. Did him dirty, my peoples. That's why we got to start now being careful who we allow to go in the live with us. Why? Because somebody went in the live with Greg Hackett. They showed pornographic content. And even though he ended the live, it didn't matter. He deleted the live. It didn't matter. That same person reported the page right away. Yo, there's pornographic content in this YouTube channel. Boom, they took it down right away. Crazy, nasty work. Quick, but I really don't understand haters for your channel. I come here to learn about boxing. I mean, look, I'm going to tell you some of the haters for this channel. Happen to be haters for the following reasons. Number one, and I hate to say it, but some of them, they have their own channel and they don't got the motion that they see over here. They do their own content and they don't see that organic, back and forth with true boxing fans. And you guys saw, my brother Camachito was here earlier. And he was like, yo, you go on some channels and they just talking some goofy ass shit. It's like, what the hell? Like, this is a real boxing community over here. So there's people from other channels that have reported this channel. I know that for a fact. Or people that just, they support that channel, so they already against me. Like, goofy shit. Goofball shit, bro. And then, there's also the internet trolls. People that just go around reporting people randomly. Pugilism. Consequences, they'll pay. Kelvin Davis versus Ivan red catch at 147. April 4th, live and direct from ODU, Charway Arena. Yeah, you see, he's not going to be fighting in the Keyshawn Davis undercard. Now he's going to be fighting in a separate event, a smaller venue, obviously, that his brother's going to be on. Those are consequences. Boxing Fanatical. Errol eyes look weird as hell when he was walking in the Bud fight. I pointed it out before the match. Nah, they look perfectly normal. They look perfectly normal. Aroma Sound. When your fighter takes a loss, you mad at the world. I damn near stopped watching boxing for a while after Devin lost. It's tough, man. It's tough. It's almost like you took an L. Like a lot of people, they felt like they lost with Errol. They felt like they was getting punched in the head by Bud. Shaggy, salute family, bam. Nick Matthew. First it was Errol Spence. It was 50-50 excuses after excuses. So Errol was not the same. But what happened with Ugas? Nah, but listen to this, bro. Here's what I don't understand about Crawford versus Errol. How the same people that told me Errol Spence is going to knock out Terrence Crawford, the next day tell me, nah, he's not the same no more, though. It's the accident. And Errol Spence, you know, he smoked some trash weed that day. And when they went to get some haze or some hydro, they couldn't find it. And, you know, he didn't really hit the pads focus because the dog ate the regular gloves that he liked to hit the pads with. I don't know how many excuses I heard. How many? Aroma Sound. Luckily, Ryan cheated. And it made me feel better about the laws. Damn, you was glad Ryan cheated? Shit. Side. Read my previous comment, Jay Smith. I got you, bro. Where you at? Side. Greg got his channel removed shortly after calling Keyshawn out on his BS with Abdullah Mason. He has energy for Abdullah, but none for Ryan or Andy Cruz. People ain't feeling that. Whoa. Well, Side, I guess you're going to segue us into the next topic. Yes, you're going to segue us into this one right here. My peoples, how do you feel about Keyshawn Davis applying pressure on young Abdullah Mason? Come on, man. Greg Hackett didn't like it. I didn't like it. And I'm going to tell you why I didn't like it. Keyshawn Davis knows that he's fighting at 140. He's fighting at 140. Abdullah Mason just became a world champion at 135. Hasn't even defended yet. So Keyshawn knows that fight is not happening. Why you trying to bully Abdullah Mason? Young gun, young bull, doing his thing, accomplishing. Why are you playing with him like that? 21 green light. I feel like Keyshawn Davis is bullying him to fight, but I don't think they should fight each other. The letter M. Davis don't need to fight Mason. Come on, Keyshawn. Pugilism. Jay Prince manufactured beef. Keys both guys relevant. People tune in to see Key lose and see Abdullah win. So I'm going to be honest, man. I don't like it. It looks like he on some bullying shit. The way he like, yeah, I'll knock him out. I'm going to knock you out. Knock you out so bad. Come on, man. Why you got to do it like that? I want to hear your thoughts, my peoples. I want to hear your thoughts. But I got to say, man, Abdullah Mason, he's 21 years old, man. 21 years old. Come on, man. Pugilism. It's wholesome trash talk. The trash talker hated. And the humble, quiet guy cheered. They would have hated Ali. Ow. Maybe he knows Abdullah is a real threat. Trent Thomas. Some people here actually been in combat sports. I teach martial arts. I expect a 50-50 fight. But Crawford put on a masterclass. Man, listen. Honestly, I had Crawford winning in that same fashion. I really did have him winning that way. 21 green light. And then he said he's going to knock his son out in front of him, in front of his father. Jay Peso. Mason ain't ready yet. Keyshawn just flexing on the young bull. This the fight game. The letter M. Come on, man. Why you gotta do it like that? Ronaldo, a lot of Keyshawn antics are to keep himself relevant and visible. I agree, he wrong for pushing up on Abdullah. Yeah, because he looked like he was trying to bully him, like the way he talking him and giving him mean mugs and all that. Like he trying to bully him, like he trying to bully a little kid. I mean, Abdullah held his own. We grilling him right there. What's up? What's up? Damn it, Ford. I'm still pissed. They jumped Albright backstage. Shit happens. I mean, it's wrong. It's wrong. You don't want to get... We have to understand that these are professional athletes. So you're expected to behave as such when you're not fighting. Pugilism. It's all catch-22. Abdullah, with the Muslim faith, is now the humble guy. And the Frazier and Christian George, the brash trash talker now. The letter M, Jay Smith. Did you see Garcia saying he wants a Crawford fight? Homeboy losing his noodles. We was just talking about that. We're going to address it again. But I want to show you. Well, I want to tell you. Look how Keyshawn was right all in his face and Abdullah was grilling him. And Abdullah actually posted and said the following. Look what Abdullah Mason said, my peoples. That's from him. You at 140. Get there, I'll catch you. You're going to be my first fight at 140. I'm going to get you. Don't worry. Abdullah Mason letting him know. All right, you got it. You bully me and everything. You got that. I'm going to see you at 140. I'm going to handle business out here. I'm going to keep growing. At 21 years old, man, he ain't even growing to his man strength yet. He ain't even growing to his man strength yet. So, Abdullah, he could wait till he's 23, 24, 25. They be like, let me holler at you. Let me holler at you, family. Danny on the ground. I didn't like it either. David steps up to everyone until he gets stepped on. 21 green light. What do you think happens in this fight if they do fight? It's hard for me to say, to be honest. Right now with Abdullah being at 135, and I know that this fight is not happening for the next few years, it's hard for me to say because now I'm trying to anticipate both of their development throughout that time and where they both going to be at. And I just can't say. You know, obviously it's going to be a real good fight, a real competitive fight, but it's hard for me to go either way. Pugilism. Boxing is theater. The letter M. Keyshawn better not play with young Abdullah and fuck around and get chin checked. Shaku hands. You be missing my comments. What's BD about what's bad? I'm driving to make sure I keep in the comments. And you be skipping my message, Jay. Damn, Shaku hands. Let me see where you at. Shaku hands. He's staying relevant, but he's doing too much. I mean, there's some things I like, because I like Keyshawn Davis, you know, went on that tour, sparring with a bunch of people, sparring with amateur boxers, sparring with YouTubers. That was cool to see. I got to enjoy that. And when he put the beats on Dean the Great, oh, that was fun. Put the Swiss, the Dre, and the Apple beats on him. Side, it's a shame he has no energy for the man that called him his son. Ooh, for Andy Cruz? Ow. No, Abdullah, disrespect will be tolerated. Team Mason all day. I mean, the thing about Abdullah Mason, man, is that I haven't seen a boxing fan that don't like him. Everybody's going to have haters. He got haters. He got haters saying, well, he got dropped. He got dropped. You know, people who don't know shit about boxing. But overall, the boxing community loves Abdullah Mason. The way that he carry himself. You know, he's a grounded young man. And he's, you know, you could see that he follow his faith. You could see that he lives a certain lifestyle. And it carries over to what he does inside the ring. Pugilism. Andy Cruz always welcome in Norfolk. The Suits don't want to risk Andy versus Keyshawn right away. Suits scared. Side. He could have fought Mason if he didn't miss weight at 135. Nah, but look, I don't knock him for that, because if a fighter's struggling to make weight and they keep forcing it to make it, they're going to end up losing. And not necessarily because they lost to the better fighter, but because they're going to show up to a fight and their body's just not going to be the same. It's not going to respond. Jay Peso. Keyshawn is taking on the villain role. Marketing. Trent Thomas. Keyshawn better be careful what you wish for. At some point, you may get it. I mean, I think we're going to get it. You know, we're a few years away from it, because Abdullah's going to be at 135 for some time. He's, like I said, he's only 21 years old. But eventually, he's going to catch up to Keyshawn Davis. They're going to be in the same weight class. And they're going to see each other. It's going to happen. Alberto McIntosh. Morning, everyone. Just arrived. Yesterday, we talked about comparing boxing with other combat styles. Salute, family. Bam. Side, we talking about Keyshawn Davis, bro. Keyshawn Davis, you know, called out Abdullah Mason, was like acting like a bully, like he want to bully him. And, you know, there's a lot of fans that don't like it. And then there's also the fans that say, yo, it's marketing, it's theatrics. Not a big deal. Nothing to see here. The letter M. He don't want to see Andy Cruz. He got his number. Whoa. Shaq, who has little Andy? Well, listen. Andy says that he's pops. That's his pops. Andy is his father, according to him. Jay Peso. Why these new boxing fans so sensitive? They fighters. The letter M. He don't want to see Andy Cruz. He got his number. The thing, Jay Peso, is that Abdullah Mason is a 135-pounder. Keyshawn Davis moved to 140. He lost his title on the scale, my G, because he couldn't make 135 anymore. So if you know you're at 140, and you know this 21-year-old fighter just became a champion at 135, why are you calling him out for? You talking about, yeah, I'm going to knock you out and all that. And then Andy Cruz out there calling himself your father. And you don't got that same type of energy for him. Pugilism. Abdullah and Kevin saved the night when Keyshawn missed the scales. Abdullah always Norfolk too. We jumped out our seats watching Mason finish the fight and getting knocked down. Listen, man, I gotta say this. Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes showed us that Abdullah can dig deep and that he can fight through adversity. And this is how you know when a fighter is headed for greatness. All fighters have ran into a fight. Nobody dominates everybody. Every great fighter ran into a fight where this guy was tough. And they really had to dig deep because this guy was not going to go away. This guy was going to take everything that they got and keep coming forward. And that was Sam Noakes. Abdullah Mason had to be better than he had ever been. More than what he ever done to walk out of there with the W. So we found out. He's cut from that cloth. Ronaldo, I like Abdullah because he has overcome adversity in the ring. He's humble and he got them wands. Pugilism. Abdullah always welcome in Norfolk. Salud. Pimente. What do you think about Joely Hernandez? He called out Adames, but he's not ready. It's levels to this. I don't think he's ready for Carlos Adames. Honestly, I don't see it. I don't think he's ready. He ain't ready for Adames, man. He get beat up. Adames will beat him up. Luis Pimentel, saludos, Jay. Fam. I think Keyshawn got him right now, but Abdullah in his prime just may be a different story. Roman the man. My respect to almost all boxers. There's always a bad apple or two in the basket. But overall, you know, gotta show love and respect to everybody who step inside the ring. You risking your life. That's something we tend to forget. In the middle of the trash talking, the debates and all of that, fighters risk their life when they step in the ring. It could happen to anybody. Anyone could step in the ring and be taken out in a stretcher unconscious. It takes one shot for that to happen. The letter M. Keyshawn Davis fought Andy Cruz 4 times and lost all 4 in the amateurs. Got his ass whooped. Pugilism. Andy gold medal wins are a third beer flight sample. Keyshawn built 12 championship pro rounds to last man standing. Pugilism. Andy's gold medal wins are 3-round beer flight samples. Shackle hands. I don't know what he's doing, but we know he's keeping the media alive. Yeah, he's on it. He's on it. Damn Ford. Mason showed his grit for sure, man. He showed he got that dog in him. Pugilism. 4 different flights and still 3-round beer flight samples. That's just free homework for Keyshawn for a 12-round pro fight to last man standing. Alberto McIntosh. Abdullah is focused and humble. He's going places. Yeah, he's going to accomplish a lot. He's going to be one of these fighters who wins multiple titles in a division, then moves up, wins more titles in that division, then moves up again. We're going to see Abdullah win titles at least 3 divisions. That's the minimum. I wouldn't be surprised if he does 4. Maybe even 5 is tough. That would be too far away from where he's at right now. But at least the minimum divisions for Abdullah is 3. He'll be at least a 3-division champion. Underrated Will. What do you think about Adrien Broner and Misfits Boxing? I don't know who's Adrien Broner. You didn't mean to say Adrien Broner, right? Misfits Boxing, they doing their thing. They doing their thing. They growing that platform. And I seen some interesting fights on there. Oh, you talking about Broner? Nah, Broner's cooked. That's it. His personal life done ended his boxing career. That's pretty much it. The word of Elijah. He'll end up at 54 for sure. He has a wide frame. So he's at 135, right? He's gonna go to 140. He's gonna go to 147. Okay, maybe he'll be a 4-division champion. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. The letter M. Broner don't even throw his hands anymore. Yeah, man, Broner is cooked. Cooked. The word of Elijah, Mason. Yeah, Abdullah Mason, I said 3 divisions because I figured he'll probably end up going to 147. But he could end up being a 4-division champion. My point is, in every division he fights, he's going to become a world champion. Then 4. Broner drunk somewhere early in the morning. Yeah, man, unfortunately, Adrien Broner is a fighter who could have been one of the best of his era, but nah, he couldn't do it. He couldn't stay disciplined in his personal life. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. My peoples, we have to address this situation. Look what Roy Jones Jr. said about Zuffa Boxing. Give up that Zuffa belt and return to regular boxing. Bro, Roy Jones Jr. is not feeling Zuffa Boxing. Pugilism. Mason got like 4 bros who fight too. Good boxing family. If him and Keyshawn clash, so be it. So be it. I think it's going to happen. They're going to end up, it's a few years away, but it's going to happen. So I gotta tell you guys about this whole situation. You know, Roy Jones not rocking with Zuffa Boxing at all, not endorsing them. I gotta tell you what I think about this. Alberto McIntosh. Tank is still young, but with some of his life choices, how much you think he still got to offer? I mean, at 30 years old, he still got a lot of time left to get his shit together. We know that he's a generational talent. So he's got to get it together. That's it. But when he comes back and step in the ring, we know what he's going to do, what he always does. And he's going to be a big star the way that he is because people like that type of performance. They want to see people get knocked out. They love to see what Tank does. Now, are we going to see Tank fighting the best? Are we going to see Tank stepping in the ring with Shakur Stevenson? Are we going to see him stepping in with Devin Haney? I don't know. Are we going to see the rematch with Lamont Roach? Are we going to see him with Gary Antoine Russell in the 140 division? I don't know. But Tank got time to accomplish a lot if he wants to. Let's just see what direction they decide to go in. The letter M, return to the sanctioning bodies to rob the fighters. Right, Zuffa offering opportunity. I give them that. Pimentel, I think Zuffa is good for boxing. Exciting competitive fights. Super exciting competitive fights. Or so far. The word of Elijah. Haney too far gone. Ronaldo, I worry that with Zuffa, the fighters are going to start getting paid dramatically less, like those UFC fighters. So let me respond to that. What I already see from Zuffa is that they're going to do the same thing we see normally. If you're a big star, you're going to get paid a lot of money to fight. If you don't have a name, you're going to get paid a little. That pay scheme that they have put out is not going to work. It's not going to work already. Because look how much they're giving Conor Ben for one fight. And I think that's cap. I think he's going to end up fighting multiple times. And they said 15 mil to, to make the news and have it be like, oh my God, they're paying out all this money, attract a lot of attention, a lot of fighters. But I think it's going to be just like it's always been. If you don't have a name, you're going to be fighting for a little bit of money. If you have a name, you're going to fight for a lot of money. I think Zuffa is going to be just like that. Pugilism, Zuffa great for boxing. And I still like Roy. Zuffa fighters can always get recognized through the Ring magazine, and sanctioning bodies will join the party for big fights due to popular demand. But we have to talk about that. We're going to segue into that. And here's why. So Roy Jones Jr. is saying that he's not down with it, right? He thinks that fighters should stick with the sanctioning bodies about Zuffa Boxing. But here's something that happened very recently that you guys have to consider for this conversation. Check this out. Jai Opetaia has officially been stripped of his IBF title. What is that really going to mean? Think about it. What is that really going to mean? The IBF, look at this. The IBF was going to sanction his fight, right? Then they realized that the Zuffa belt was going to be on the line as well. They pulled out their sanctioning from the fight. Oh, now y'all fighting for the Zuffa belt? Now our shit is not going to be on the line. So this becomes the magic question, my peoples. Is it going to turn into a situation where it's going to be Dana White and Turkey with their Zuffa Boxing against the sanctioning bodies? Is this what we're looking at? Because now we've seen the IBF withdraw their sanctioning from a fight. Al Booger, salute, family. Lee. Okay, Lee's a dummy. We got to get him out of here. Quick. The letter M. That formula of pain isn't going to work because popularity and buys equals money, even when a guy isn't the champ. That's a fact, the letter M. That model that they first put out, it doesn't look like it's going to work. It's going to work with the low-level fighters, with the guys who don't have a name, the prospects who sign young. It's going to work with the journeyman who has 8 losses and 20 wins. It's going to work with the former champion who hasn't won a big fight in the last 10 years. So with some people, it's going to work. But they're going to have to pay the stars big money. That's how you bring the big stars over and get them to sign multi-fight deals and all of that. Shackle hands, that was a dummy. We got him out of here. But here's what I'm wondering, my peoples. Are we going to see a situation where if it's the WBC, the IBF, the WBA, the WBO, if it's a champion who has one of their belts and they're fighting on Zuffa Boxing or for the Zuffa belt, is that going to mean that the champion is going to get stripped? Are the sanctioning bodies, are they all going to strip a fighter who goes fight for the Zuffa belt? Aroma Sound, I think it will be like WWF versus WCW back in the day. Eventually, everyone will have to work together to get the best out of the sport. The letter M, no goofballery, no ghost watching. Hit the like button, my peoples. Pimente, money talks. I mean, it's all about the money, but the IBF could have been involved in a fight, and they chose not to, in Jai Opatai's fight, and they could have made their money. They could have made their sanctioning fee. And in fact, the IBF received sanctioning fee money for that fight from Jai Opatai's team, and they returned it. They returned the sanctioning fee money. Pimente, the sanctioning bodies want Zuffa to pay homage. It's not that they want them to pay homage. It's that they want the fight to be for their title, and the Zuffa could be seen like a trophy, but not like a legitimate title, like I'm a Zuffa champion. What the IBF basically said, oh, you're going to be the Zuffa champion? We're not sanctioning that shit. JJ Zayas in the building. Salute, family. Bam. Trent Thomas. It's going to be who has the money to promote the shows and pay the stars. They trying to politic the situation. Pugilism. And that's why the Ali Act exists. People scared, but Ali Act exists so fighters can have freedom to fight outside the Zuffa League and make the biggest possible fights. Ultimately, money talks. Look, right now, it's going to be a tough situation for the fighters because you're saying that money talks, but at some point, there's a fighter who's not even making a lot of money. He just wants the opportunity to fight for this title. And he's not going to make a lot of money fighting for the title. Because that's another thing that we have to consider. Champions make a lot of money when they have a big name and they're the big star. But if you have a guy who doesn't have a name and he's fighting another no-name, he's not making money like that. He's not, every champion is not making millions of dollars. There's champions that are fighting for hundreds and even tens of thousands of dollars. I guarantee you there's a world champion out there who fought and didn't make $100,000. There's a champion right out there right now who not making $100K to defend his title. That's the reality. If you're not a star, you're not making money like that. That's not just like, oh, Zuffa's going to be underpaying people because they're making all this money over there. Nah, they're not making all this money over there either. If they're not a big star. Or if they don't have, a big promotional deal and endorsements and all type of other stuff that gives them multiple forms of outcomes, of incomes. Pugilism. Zuffa provides a lane to give a more considerate fight schedule, it seems. Boxing, a global sport, and plenty fighters willing to show up for an opportunity. And that's the thing. Zuffa gives fighters another platform where in some cases otherwise they would be inactive. No fights. Look at Adrien de los Santos. How long has he been inactive for? Has it been 2 years already? He's been inactive for some time. And it's not like he doesn't want to fight. Remember, he was going to fight Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn didn't make weight. De los Santos stayed inactive. And now he's going to fight because he's on Zuffa Boxing. He fought recently. By the way, Adrien de los Santos did fight maybe like 2 months ago. But he was inactive for mad long. And now he's going to fight. He signed with Zuffa Boxing. So there's real good fighters out there who are just not getting fights. They could go to Zuffa Boxing. So Zuffa's going to be another option. But our guys on Zuffa Boxing going to be able to fight for these titles. That's the thing. If you fight for the Zuffa belt, are the major sanctioning bodies going to strip you? Young Guns, salute family, bam. Shackle hands, gotta win. Now he fought this year. Yeah, he fought this year and got a W. But he was inactive for quite some time. After the Shakur fight. Over a year. So now we get to see Adrien de los Santos sign with Zuffa Boxing and he's going to get active. But if it turns into this, where we got Zuffa versus the sanctioning bodies, we're going to miss some good fights. We're going to miss out on some good fights. Because there will be fighters who will sign with Zuffa to make that money, and then they won't be able to fight somebody who has one of the sanctioning body titles. Young Guns, Zuffa is down bad. Everybody seems to be on the zone now. I bet PBC will be on the zone sooner than later. PBC, let's see when their deal finishes with Amazon Prime. Maybe they'll humble themselves and go to the zone like, yo, we messed up when we said all that crap about y'all. Pimente, he was battling health issues. The letter M, De Los Santos got that first round knockout win. It was a devastating knockout too. Devastating blow by Adrien de los Santos. My peoples. We got a fight on Saturday, fellas. We got action on Saturday, fellas. Keith Thurman versus Sebastian Fundora. I saw a prediction from Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia says that Keith Thurman is going to get the upset win. That's what Danny Garcia says. Keith Thurman with the upset win. The letter M, devastating blow. Yes, sir. Young Guns, I can't wait, Jay Smith, for this weekend. But I'm happy about the 75. My peoples, we back in the building. My internet try to play games with me, but I handle business. The letter M, Jay Smith got Thurman. I know it. I know it. I don't know who I got. I don't know who I got yet, to be honest, bro. I really don't know. Young Guns, $30 will be okay. That's how they got to do it, man. Bring them pay-per-view prices back down. $70. Trent Thomas, you can be very good and they don't promote you and fighters avoid you because you're dangerous. So hopefully we see MVP putting on shows. Thurman only lost to Manny, but avoided. I try to tell people, man, Keith one-time Thurman is not to be disrespected. One loss in his career to one of the best fighters ever. And as I told you guys before, this is the social media boxing fan base. As soon as you take a L, you washed, You're done. You're not the same anymore. All of that stuff. Meanwhile, Keith Thurman looked like the old Keith in his last fight. He looked great out there. Shaggy, I got one time myself. He's moving like a champion. Like momentum and force is unstoppable right now to me. Pugilism, streamers, and Jake Paul novice boxing pay-per-views set the pay-per-view bottom line and allow PBC to keep 80's price point for real boxing. Then that bizarre price make the Zone 45 package for a whole year seems justified. The letter M. Thurman got a lot of nagging injuries he bouncing back from. I mean, but look what he does every time he step in the ring. Look what he does. In his last fight, Keith Thurman looked spectacular, bro. That's the only way to describe it. The letter M. Thurman got a lot of nagging injuries. Ronaldo, I love both of those fighters. But I see Keith putting Fundora to sleep. Whoa. Look, man, I'm telling you, it's going to be a competitive fight. I don't even know how there's people out there who think that Keith Thurman is just going to get washed, cooked. He don't stand a chance. Nah, man, don't. You know, you tripping. Keith Thurman is a guy who we know what he's accomplished. We know what he's about. Let's not forget about what a fighter can do in the ring. Let's not forget about his skill set. For me, this is a tough prediction to make simply because I know what Keith Thurman brings to the table. I know that he's going to have the edge in speed, the edge in footwork, in mobility, and he's going to use that. The edge in experience. He's been there versus better, tougher opponents. So Keith Thurman, you know, he has his own advantages too. I say Fundora has more advantages because when you talk about the size and reach alone, when you talk about the power, when you talk about his skills, Fundora is a guy who can fight, who's mad skilled. But I'm going to say skill for skill, Keith Thurman is the more skilled fighter. Don't get it twisted. If we look skill for skill, if we look at both of them, Keith Thurman is the more skilled fighter. That's why it's hard to make this prediction. Because I know if he's able to close the gap on Fundora, he's going to put hands on him. While people out there talking about Keith going to get washed and shit. Aroma Sound. Keith Thurman stopped his last opponent in the first or second round. If I remember correctly, yeah, he stopped him early and it was a brutal stoppage. Beat the crap out of him. I don't remember what round, but it was early. Early on. Shaggy, you said it, brother. Trent Thomas. People don't realize boxers only fight 2 or 3 times a year, max. And look, 3 times a year is good. I'm okay with that. Every 4 months. 3 times a year, to me, that's a good schedule. I know there's been times where fighters fight 4, 5, 6 times. But I'm okay with 3 times a year at least. Raul Mercado. Anything can happen in boxing. That's facts. That is 100% facts. Shaggy, you said it, brother. Ronaldo. Whoa. Ronaldo dropping in with the super chat vibes. Salute, family. Appreciate you, brother. Keith by KO. Whoa. Ronaldo say Keith Thurman is going to beat Sebastian Fundora by knockout. Devastating blow, ladies and gentlemen, by Keith Thurman to sleep him. Alberto McIntosh. The established bodies needs to rethink their position. Boxing is the job description of these warriors, and more opinions is always good to have. Zuffa will force them to step up their game. And look, I think that there's going to be pressure on both sides, on Zuffa and on the sanctioning bodies, but ultimately, I think they're going to have to work together. The thing is that Dana was disrespectful. When he first started, and he was like, look, when they first announced Zuffa Boxing, Dana White was like, we're not recognizing the sanctioning bodies. Like, what? You're not recognizing us? F you. So I think, you know, because of that, because they decided to have their own belt, it's kind of their own league that they're doing, that's going to make it tough for them to work together. Pimente, if Fundora uses height and reach, he got this. But he's a prideful fighter and likes to be in the pocket. The letter M, Thurman gonna be on his bike on Saturday. Fundora gonna be hunting him down. Ronaldo, remember I said that. Aroma Sound, Fundora looks like he got better over his last few fights though. I agree with you, and I said this before. Fundora's using that jab and that reach more effectively than ever. He is. He's not fighting on the inside as much as he used to. Mr. KO, what's good, Jay Smith? Salute, chat. I got one time by devastating blow, devastating knockout by not by Sebastian Fundora, by Keith Thurman. Trent Thomas, keep looking for the big win so he can challenge for more titles. I mean, think about it, man. It was a long time ago already that Keith Thurman was a world champion. And he wants the opportunity to hold a belt yet again. This is it right here. This is it right here. BM Boxing News. I'll be ringside at Fundora. Whoa. You're going to enjoy a heck of a fight on Saturday. Who you got? BM Boxing News. Who you got? Let it be known. Who do you have? And I know a lot of people made their predictions already. You still got time to change your mind. Just in case, if you want to change your mind, if you thought Keith was going to get washed and you want to rethink that, go ahead and rethink it. The letter M. Remember this, Fundora is going to keep pressure on Thurman. Thurman will be busy defending himself and won't be able to throw his punches. Watch. BM Boxing News. Keep looking for a payday. Fundora all day. Aroma Sound. Boxing fans aren't the same as MMA fans. Zuffa can't be successful on its own. Boxing fans get bored easy. Uniforms and that ugly belt isn't going to cut it. Look, I think the uniform things, that sucks. That sucks. And they look cheap. It makes it look like a B league when they wearing them corny ass uniforms. But I gotta say, ultimately, boxing is about what goes down inside the ring, right? It's about, is the fight good? Is the fight exciting? Is it boring? What type of fight is it? And I can tell you, I've seen all of the Zuffa cards so far. It's been 4, right? If I'm not mistaken. And they've all been good, family. They've been action-packed. The matchup, the matchmaking, it's been great. I've seen some real good, real competitive fight. My peoples, we back in action, man. These damn clouds are trying to get the best of me, y'all. Damn, yo. I got to talk to Elon Musk. And be like, yo, Elon, what's good, man? This Starlink, it worked good, but it be 3 clouds in the sky. And you got me frozen out here. Golly. We back in the building, fellas. Y'all know it, man. I'm like a hacker. You take me down, figure it out and shit. Shackle hands shaking my head. I was wondering what happened, man. I was cooked for a minute. But we back in the building. And we already, look, most of us already agree this is going to be a good fight. But there's something that I want to point out before the internet stop playing with me. My people's Carlos Adames says He's moving to 168. Boom, shakalaka. We've seen him defend his title successfully. Put the Swiss, the Dre, and the Apple beats on Austin Ammo Williams. And now he's going to 168. Some real good potential matchups for Carlos Adames. The letter M Starling with a right to the snack box. Damn, bro, got me. Shackle hands, big dude. Shackle hands, time will tell. There you see it, man. Carlos Adames already announces that he's moving to super middleweight. I'm looking forward to seeing who is he going to fight first. Who will he make his debut against? Does he get a title shot right away? What happens? Do they say, okay, you're a champion. You're already a world champion. You get a title shot at 168 right away. But I'm interested. You know, Carlos Adames don't get the respect that he deserves. Come on, my people. Golly. What you gotta do? You're already a world champion. How many times you gotta defend for people to give you that respect? The letter M. Will Adames keep his power at that weight? We have to wait and see, to be honest. We have to wait and see. See, the thing is, in lower divisions, it's hard. It's easier to move up and bring your power with you. But that's because it's a few pounds. So when you move from 130 to 135, that's 5 pounds. From 135 to 140, that's 5 pounds. From there up, it's different. 140 to 147, that's 7 pounds. 160 to 168, that's 8 pounds. So now it's harder to carry your power up when it's that many pounds moving up. Mr. KO, imagine Canelo versus Billy or Adames. If I'm not mistaken, we're going to get Canelo versus Billy because Billy was elevated to the main WBC title. If that's the case, it's going to be Canelo because you guys know Mauricio the Golf Ball Sulaiman wants Canelo to have that WBC belt. Mr. KO, Adames only agent. I think he'll be fine putting on 7 pounds. I mean, I think so too. I think he'll be able to handle it, but him being fine doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to carry that power up there with him. So we have to see it. The letter M. And that's what my thoughts too. Adames going up, he better be sure about it. But he got the skills. Look, even if he doesn't bring destructive power to 168, like he's knocking people out, but he'll have the power to keep you honest. You know, he'll have the hands that you're going to have to really think about it before closing that gap, before trading leather with him. He's going to give you something to think about. So it's not like he's going to be, you know, moving up to that division and all of a sudden be pillow-fisted and people walking him down and shit. Man, he's going to have power. Is he going to have the same power that we've seen at 160? We'll see. Time will tell. Shackle hands. I tried to catch you yesterday before Jay Smith logged off, but thanks for reaching out. Bam. My peoples. I'm looking forward to seeing what Carlos Adames is going to do. Now, check this out, fellas. Philly legends hanging out together. Jerome Bruce Ennis with the answer. Allen Iverson. Whoa. My peoples. You guys know that we might get Jerome Bruce Ennis versus Xander Zayas. I hope we get that fight. I said I felt like Xander wasn't ready, but if he's calling for it, he wants it, have at it. The letter M, Adames versus Shiraz. I mean, that's a rematch that needs to happen. That's a rematch that needs to happen. Is it going to? I don't know. But we saw what happened at 160. The fight ended in a draw, which a lot of us felt like Shiraz was gifted a draw. Let's be honest. But ultimately, that's what it was. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Get that rematch. Get that rematch. Now, I got to tell you, my peoples, with regards to this image right here, I was surprised to hear that Xander Zayas is actually pulling for that fight with Jerron Busanis. Like, damn, Xander really want that smoke. He for real. And just to think that a few weeks ago, there was folks telling me that Xander Zayas is the weakest link in the division. And they kept saying that, nah, yo, Xander Zayas, he the weak link. He's the weakest link. And look, the weakest link, or the guy that people saying is the weakest link, he's trying to fight Jerron Busanis. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? And remember, Bill Haney said that he was food for Devin. Xander Zayas is food for Devin. That's what Bill said. Well, look who Xander Zayas trying to fight. Jerron Busanis, my peoples. And this is going to be a heck of a fight. Oh, my goodness. We're going to get some nasty fireworks. Nasty. As soon as they announce this fight, I'm going to start working on making my prediction, because this is not an easy prediction to make. Not an easy prediction to make, my peoples. As easy as you may think it is, it's not. Aroma Sound, he wants to make a name for himself, so he wants to take a big challenge. I know, man, but Jerron Busanis, that's the challenge. God damn. Ryan Bascom, good morning, boxing expert. Salute, family. Bam, the letter M. I don't like it. Too soon for Xander Zayas, in my opinion. Mr. K, a weak link, going for one of the toughest fights. Just don't add up. But I don't think Zayas ready for Ennis. But it's gonna show levels. Pugilism, good fight. Tough to call. Marie De Bruyne. Boots easy. The letter M. Boots will smoke him. He keeps getting better. Trent Thomas. These days, they act like they don't want to have a rematch. I would love to see that fight. I like that fight, man. And I'm telling you, this is a fight that fans will get excited about it. And why? The reason why it was good for Top Rank for Bob Arum to go to the zone. Now you're going to see top rank fighters stepping in the ring with matchroom fighters. And that's what we got right here. Xander with Top Rank, Boots with matchroom. So right there, we may already be benefiting from Top Rank going to the zone. This might be the first big fight between matchroom and Top Rank. Pugilism. Zayas ready. Boots inactive. And Zayas naturally bigger and can box as good as Karen. Nah, but Boots is not inactive, bro. Like, Luima was like what, 5-6 months ago? Even less, maybe? Boots is not inactive, bro. Pugilism. Boots went 12 rounds 2 times with that Karen style. And Xander can hit the cards over Boots. Boots needs stationary guys like Staniones. I mean, but I tell you what, I don't think it's fair to compare it like that, because that Karen guy is tough for anybody. I guarantee you that Karen guy go 12 rounds with Xander Zayas too. It's kind of like Madrimov, where he fought Crawford. People like, look, Crawford couldn't even finish him. And then he fought Virgil Ortiz and went the distance again. It's kind of like the same thing. You know, just because Boots couldn't finish that guy doesn't mean it's going to have any impact on the fight with Xander Zayas. Shackle hands. Lima beans, string beans. He sure does prefer stationary cats. The letter M. Boots fought in October, you see? Come on, but October, November, December, January, February, March. We talking 5 months ago. Trent Thomas, best of the best. Mr. KO, Boost going the distance with Zayas. I see Boost edging most of the rounds. 116, 112, 117, 111. Whoa. Boost gonna cook him. Cook him. It's like that. It's tough for me to make a prediction on this fight because styles make fights. And Xander Zayas, I believe he does have a style to give Boots problems. I believe so. And you know that he's a natural 154-pounder. So Boots is not going to be fighting somebody that he's going to, bully inside the ring. The letter M is Boots' skill level that takes the edge. Mr. KO, I see the fight being good, but due to how judges are, those cards are what to expect. If they make this fight, I expect it to be competitive. I do think Xander is a little bit too young to be taking on Boots. He's 23 years old. And Boots is 28. Has already, unified titles. So he has championship experience as well. It's not like Xander Zayas fighting a good fighter who hasn't been on the big stage. He's fighting a world champion too, who's more experienced than he is. And then you guys know Boots being a switch hitter, that could be a problem. So, and I said this before, I said it yesterday. If I was his Xander Zayas team, I would say, let's not make this fight. Let's at least wait a few years. Because if you wait 3 more years, Xander Zayas is 26 and Jerome Boots Ennis is 31. Okay. I would do that. I would wait. Like, they're talking. Eddie Hearn, I think, posted saying that a deal or a fight announcement for Boots is imminent. Something like that. So it looked like they're close to making this fight. Ryan Bascom, don't get me wrong. Good for Zayas taking the dangerous fight. If Boots is moving the way he used to, I think he boxes Xander all over the ring. If not, Xander can't give Boots that work. Pugilism. Agree. Zayas the naturally bigger guy and can move. They got to make it to proper launch top-ranked matchroom on the zone. I'm telling you, man, I'm so happy to see Bob Arum go to the zone because it tells me there's a bunch of matchups that they'll be able to make. And now look, because you know that Bam is on matchroom. Inoue is on top rank. Like, there's a lot of fights that would have been tough to make them before. Now, this is going to work out for us, the fans. We're going to win. Aroma Sound. What does it mean when you say a natural 154 is Boost not a natural 154-pounder? What makes a fighter a natural weight class? That's a great question, Aroma Sound. So a natural 154-pounder means that he turned pro and that's when he always fought. He's always fought in that division. Boost, on the other hand, he's moving up. He fought at 147 and is now moving up to 154. However, Boots is a big guy. So he's not going to be small at 154. He a big dude anyways. But when you say somebody's a natural at that weight class, it means that they kicked off their career right there. They didn't have to move up. So they might have a naturally bigger frame as well. Jason, now Thurman has a lot of dog in him still. That's a fact. That is a fact. Pugilism. Boost from the 140 weights going up to 154. Size career 154. Guy been sinking down to that weight. Ryan Bascom not having to cut weight. No. Don't say not having to cut weight because everybody got to cut weight. Everybody. Everybody in boxing fights like 2-3 weight classes below where they walk around. Their walk around weight. Everybody. I would say the people that are the closest to their weight class, 10, 15 pounds. There's people out there that they fight at 140, they walking around at 150. But for the most part, most fighters walk around at least 20 pounds heavier than the weight class where they fight. At least. But there's a difference between you gaining 20 pounds and you in the gym, you working out, you strong as hell, as opposed to you gaining 20 pounds because you're not doing nothing in the gym and you stuffing your mouth. You're just getting fat. The letter M. Thurman is going to get effed up on Saturday. Salvador, salute family, bam. MQ at least. Pugilism. Boost was sinking down to 140, 147, and now 154. Zayas started sinking down to 54. Not to 140, because Boost ain't really fight at 140. He ain't really fight at 140. But being a big guy, as he is, I'm guessing it could have been tough for him to make weight. To make 147. May have been tough. Salvador Mosqueda, mi hermano. Bam! But, my peoples, I got to say, I hope they make this fight. If they do, I know we're all going to be celebrating. As far as this Saturday, we're going to get the smoke. We're going to get the smoke. Keith Thurman versus Sebastian Fundora, they're going to give us a smoke, my peoples. Pugilism, just thinking about that Lipinus fight. Haha. That was at welterweight. Lipinus had moved up. Ryan Bascom, Thurman has a good chance against Fundora. We'll see. The letter M, J. Smith voice. Fundora is going to beat him up. Beat him up. Mr. Kale, his Lima fight Boost was looking a little skinny on the scales. Ryan Bascom, yeah, it's a better fight than Virgil Ortiz. I mean, look, I'm going to tell you right now. I thought we was going to get Boost versus Virgil. Then the moment I saw Virgil talking about my favorite fight would be Errol Spence. Man, get the fuck out of here. Moment I saw that shit, I was like, nah, Virgil's going to duck. Boost got to find another opponent. But I was wondering, what opponent is Boost going to fight? Whoa, my peoples, can we get Jerome Boost and his versus Xander Zayas? Whoa, my peoples. I'm interested. I'm interested. That's all I got to say. Ryan Bascom, yeah, it's better fight. I agree. Ryan Bascom, I think Boost destroys Virgil. Virgil probably thinks Boost destroys Virgil. That's why they put that move. That's why they sued Golden Boy without even having a leg to stand on. What is you suing about? Golf Ballery Productions. But now we're moving on to a fight that could also be a great fight. Because here's the thing. Boots, even though I'm upset with Virgil for the golf ballery that him, his lawyer, his team did, that's a big fight. That's a real good fight that we all wanted to see. Virgil versus Boots. It's a fight that would have been explosive. But, you know, we got left hoping for that fight. What do we got next? Look at it right there. We got Xander Zayas versus Jerome Boost Ennis. That's a big fight too. It was going to be the U.S. versus Mexico. Now we got the U.S. versus Puerto Rico. Shackle hands, I love it. MQR, where's your accent from, bro? My accent is from New York and Dominican Republic. Combination of both. The letter M, Virgil lost respect with me. Being a dog. DuckTales, woo. I mean, look, what Virgil Ortiz did, that was uncalled for. You know, that's a fight that could have happened and should have happened. And I told you guys before, the only thing that stopped Virgil versus Boots from happening next was Virgil trying to leave Golden Boy, trying to become a free agent. That's it right there. Shackle hands, NYDR, you already know. Crazy combination. So look, my peoples, when you think about Virgil Ortiz, let me give you the Virgil Ortiz song. I'm going to give you the Virgil Ortiz song, my people. I got to give it to you. On this Tuesday morning, dedicated to Virgil Ortiz.
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg.
Dedicated to Virgil Ortiz, lawyer. Virgil Ortiz, manager. Some guys, bam. There you go, Virgil. That's what you got going on, Virgil. Boots, it's a danger. Boots is coming for you, Virgil. You can't leave Golden Boy. No. You cooked. Should have fought Boots next. There you have it, my peoples. DuckTales. That's what we got for Virgil. We don't want to hear it. We know you duck. Scared to death. We know your dream fight will be to fight Errol. Get the hell out of here, man. Ronaldo, DuckTales was my shit, though. Got me jamming to my childhood. Oh, nah, DuckTales, that's elite level cartoons. That's elite. Aroma sound. Virgil looked like he wanted to duck when Boo stepped in the ring. And he still face to face with him. Looked scared to death. Marwell, that looked like AB behind you. Shackle hands. Read my comments, Jay. Your comments is a laughing face, Shackle hands. Virgil put himself on the bench. Stars never want to be on the bench. Shackle hands. What the heck Virgil doing? I don't know, man. I don't know what he doing. Benched himself. That's a good way to put it. Ryan Bascom. Backdooring Oscar was a dirty play. I lost respect for Virgil when he tried to do that to Oscar. And saying Spence's name was cringe after that face-off. Look, the fact that Virgil has always talked positively about Oscar De La Hoya makes it look even worse. It's even worse that he tried to backdoor him. And then, I agree with you, man. Calling out Spence, that was like the goofiest shit that you could have done. The letter M. Shout out to Darkwing Duck, too. Oh, nah, you got to give it. Listen, Darkwing Duck, got to give it to him. Of course. Lunch, shout out to Lunch Pat McQuack. Marie, that's not honest, because you can say the same about Boost when Turkey offered him a big bag to fight Virgil, and Boost wanted a tune-up, and Virgil accepted, and second time, Virgil wanted the money. But that's the thing about it. If what you have to see there is that when they knew that Boost wanted to do a tune-up, and Boost had already said, I'm going to do a tune-up first at 154, they was all over him. We want Boost, and he's scared. And then when Boost called a bluff, what happened? My dream fight would be Errol. Looking scared to death. So as soon as Boost called a bluff, they changed that tune, brother. Changed that tune. They trying to go platinum. Marie, and because of the suit Golden Boy, like, why would you suit Golden Boy? Looking like a goofball now. Ronaldo, his management effed him. Marie, but Boost was the first one who ducked the fight and wanted a tune-up. Is that, look, it's not fair to say that he ducked the fight when he says, I'm going to move up to 154 and I'm going to do a tune-up first. He not ducking anything. Ducking a fight, my guy, is when you show that you really don't want to fight somebody. He not showing that he don't want to fight Virgil. He's showing that I want to do a tune-up at 154 and then I'm going to go after him. And that's exactly what he did. Now you scared to death when I'm right here saying, let's get it? It's a bad look for Virgil and his team, family. Shackle hands. How he tried to sneak off with Eddie Hearn. You see what I'm saying? Virgil acted like a side piece. How you acting like a side piece on Oscar De La Hoya? Be loyal. Virgil was out there acting like Paulie Malignaggi side piece. Ryan Bascom, yeah, a surprising betrayal. Shame. Trent Thomas, if he fights Spence and loses, he gonna look real bad. Mr. KO, word, calling out Spence after what happened to him is just all messed up. Aroma sound. Boost did go for a tune-up first, but he was just being smart because he knew Virgil wouldn't be an easy fight. That's different from ducking. But that's what I'm saying. If you get a tune-up and then go right after the guy, that ain't no duck. Ryan Bascom, not the same. Virgil was trying to backdoor Golden Boy. The serious backdoor move. The letter M. Errol. Ronaldo. In my opinion, Boost would make Virgil look ordinary. Virgil got power, but Boost got the skills and IQ. Ryan Bascom. Wanting a tune-up isn't a duck. I agree with you 100%. The letter M. Shucky quack quack. Oh, he shooky dookie. Ryan Bascom, a side piece. Exactly. While Virgil Ortiz was trying to act like he an Eddie Hearn side piece. No. You're not Paulie Malignaggi girlfriend. We don't want to hear it. You should have fought around Boost Ennis. That's what I say, me personally. Shackle hands, yes, Errol. It was an error. Yeah. Aroma sound. Saying a fighter duck is like saying someone is scared to lift weights. If they do a warm-up set, like, yeah, you scared to lift weights. You're not benching 500 pounds off the gate. Shackle hands. Error on deck. And Errol was on deck when he fought Bud, though. The letter M. Eddie Hearn is going to tell Oscar, I took your girl. Damn, Eddie Hearn's going to do it like Broner. MQR. Is it a duck if Haney doesn't fight Ryan next? Nah, I'm not going to say it's a duck. I'm not going to say it's a duck. Simply because it doesn't have to be next. If he's already in negotiations with Rollies, I don't have a problem with him fighting Rollies next, which is the guy who beat Ryan Garcia. But after that, I think we will be expecting him to fight Ryan. Trent Thomas. Ortiz made a real bad career decision. A horrible one. Like, you guys have to remember, Virgil had been inactive when he was at 147. Remember, he was supposed to fight Stanionis. He was not able to. He damn near died trying to make weight. Then he recovered. Then he tried to fight him again. Damn near died again trying to make weight. That's when they realized that, no, he could put his life in danger trying to make 147, and he had to move up. So he spent like a year of inactivity at 147 where he was ill. So now you're going to spend more time inactive? Not good business. Not good business, my peoples. You're going to see these other guys accomplishing, winning titles, making career paydays, while Virgil on the back burner. Not fighting at all, collecting dust. The letter M. Garcia wants Crawford next. I mean, does Ryan Garcia really believe that he could beat Terence Crawford? I don't know. I don't know that he believes that. I don't know that he believes that. He did say that Terence Crawford is overrated, according to him. I don't know. I don't know. Now, I want to point something out while we talk about Virgil. In 2025, he had 2 fights. That's it. And his last fight was in August. Oh, no, in November. He fought Erickson Lubin in November. So think about it. He fought in February. He fought Madrimov. Starting 2025 in February is when he fought Madrimov. And then way in November, that's when he got his second fight of the year against Erickson Lubin. So who is he going to fight next? We don't know. When is he going to fight next? We don't know. But let me go back and show you. Look at his activity in 2024. 1, 2, 3 fights in 2024. Frederick Lawson, Thomas DeLorme, Serhii Bohachuk. 3 fights Virgil had in 2024. Then in 2025, he only had 2. What about in 2026? He hasn't been in the ring yet. He's probably going to get maybe 1 fight this year. Maybe. Not good business. Trent Thomas, time is money in boxing. That's a fact. Ronaldo, let's get Barrios versus Rollies too for the belts. That old man whooped Rolly. Oh, Barroso. Ooh, Barroso put the beats on Rollies. Got that old man strength. Raul Mercado, he's not ready for Crawford. He wants him. He says he wants him, but I don't know. I think Ryan is just trolling. Because he says Crawford is underrated and Crawford is not as good as people think he is. Like, man, what are you talking about? Aroma Sound, if Ryan couldn't beat Rollies, he wouldn't make it out the second round with Crawford. Ryan Bascom, Bohachuk. It's a bad dude. Yeah, he can fight. He can fight. He one of those guys that's going to be aggressive, that's going to be a machine, that's going to let the hands fly, that's going to take whatever you got to dish out and keep going at you. The letter M, Crawford will break Ryan's jaw. I mean, we'll never see that fight. And I think that's the reason why Ryan is talking like that. He knows him and Crawford are never going to fight. Like, he was saying, oh, you know, I'll meet him at 154 and beat him. Like, bro, Crawford is not going to fight at no 154. He's not going to fight, period. So, you know. Ryan Garcia gets to do his little trash talking and whatnot. Ryan Bascom. Ismael Barroso is also a bad dude. Powerful. Man, listen, Barroso, he packs a punch. He made Rolly taste that. Taste that. And it's crazy because if you remember the Rollies fight, Rollies was catching him with some punches and they just stopped it. That fight did not have to get stopped. Barroso was like looking around like, what the fuck? What happened? They shouldn't have stopped that fight. And he may have beaten Rollies. Heavy-handed is Barroso. My peoples. Earlier, for those of you who just tuned in, we was talking about Abdullah Mason and Keyshawn Davis, man. Keyshawn Davis trying to act like he bullying young Abdullah Mason. Fans didn't like it. I seen a lot of fans saying, yo, why you don't go bully Andy Cruz? Why you don't pull that shit on him? Shackle Heads, yes, GPA Smurf beat Rollies. Ronaldo, the fix was in. MS, J. Smith, do you know who Jorge Kawahiri is? He's a former Mexican politician and business owner who became famous for suddenly becoming a boxer and knocking out a bunch of cans because he was on steroids. So I heard of him. I think I even seen a little story about him, but I didn't really follow him like that, so I couldn't tell you much about him. Alexis, do you feel like Rolly has been a different fighter since coming to 147? I mean, he's looked great. Rollies has been looking great. And we saw the best version of Rollies versus Ryan Garcia in the welterweight division. Ryan Bascom, he didn't like the taste of that power. Barroso was winning until the early stoppage. That stoppage did not look like it was legitimate. And I usually agree. You know, I usually agree with a stoppage and say, yeah, you got to protect the fighters. In that case, I didn't agree. MS. Kawagi died yesterday. Oh, man. R.I.P. to Kawagi. Charles Bruce. Keyshawn David. It's a lane for this. You see, a lot of people not feeling it. You guys know young Abdullah, became a world champion, only 21 years old. And for Keyshawn Davis to be calling him out when he's one division lower than him, it's like, a lot of people didn't like it. Shackle hands. MS. What are you serious? Where he from? Oh, steroids. Yikes. Man, listen. The stories, it's almost like deja vu. Like they keep repeating themselves. Athletes who abuse steroids oftentimes die young. That guy, he didn't die so young, apparently, right? But a lot of people who use steroids in their 40s and 50s, they have heart attacks and they die. The letter M. I hate when a ref steps in too early, man. I hate it when that happens. Hate it when that happens. Mr. KO. And it was Tony Weeks that stopped that fight early. Mr. KO. Did Johnny Beck just get caught for using PEDs? He's suspended right now. Johnny Beck is suspended right now for his steroid usage. The letter M. Bless Isis Seal, poor girl. So Isis apparently, and that's good news, yesterday night came out of the coma. So she looks apparently, or it's being reported that she's conscious. That's obviously a good sign because when somebody's in a coma, you never know if they're going to wake up again. So, yeah, it looks like she's going to be okay. Hopefully, it's still a whole process for her to get back to normal. But yes, man, I'm happy for her. Isis Seal, man, salute, young warrior. MS, Chaco Hands, yeah. This dude, Kawagi, was becoming the face of boxing before Canelo in Mexico. He had a following. Then he got caught. Alexis, why doesn't Keyshawn call out Boots, Ennis? Now that's a good call out. Yeah, but you have to understand that Keyshawn Davis had 140, Boots had 154, so that's not going to happen. Shackle hands, caught the bananas. MS, whoa, got caught. Now he passed away. Aroma Sound, he even had fake muscles too. I'm telling you, people do anything to get that celebrity attention. Anything to get that celebrity attention. I'll tell you what, fellas. Abdullah Mason, I like the way that he handled it when Keyshawn Davis was all up in his face. He didn't back down or nothing like that. Stayed humble, stayed calm, behaved like a very mature young man. But look what he said, what he posted. Don't worry, when I'm done here at 135, I'm going to move up to 140, and you're going to be my first fight. What that tells you, it may not play out exactly like that, but what that tells you is that Keyshawn Davis, he's already going to be in Abdullah Mason's radar. That's it. Abdullah Mason going to be hitting the heavy bag, thinking about about Keyshawn Davis. You're going to be sparring, thinking about Keyshawn. You put a whole new flame on Abdullah Mason's engine to get him going. He's going to be thinking about you. Believe it. Trell Bruce. This mofo talking about casuals don't know what a world champion is and don't care. But he used to be in interviews calling real boxing fans casuals because the De Los Santos incident. Yeah, but the De Los Santos incident, it affected him and it affected his team because, look, his brothers, they not even in his undercard anymore. They fighting in a small venue somewhere else. So, I think Keyshawn got to acknowledge that they messed up. They screwed up. Shackle hands, yes, but Keyshawn going to be gone. Ryan Basker, Mason, it's a real one. I think he's going places. I agree with you. He's going to accomplish a lot. Shackle hands, keep going to 147. Maybe not. Let's see. It's not a done deal yet. Shackle hands. Mason don't need to worry about Key at all. Alexis, either way, Boots Ennis a better fighter than Keyshawn. Yeah, but he's too big. Like, I don't even think we'll ever see that fight. I don't even think they'll ever be in the same weight class, to be honest with you. Trent Thomas, he put the target on his back. The letter M, Abdullah, 20 wins, 17 knockouts. Davis better chill before Mason says, let's do it. Mr. KO, Abdullah can still make money by going after Murataya and Schofield. And that's the thing. Abdullah Mason is going to stick around at the 135 division. He's 21 years old, my peoples. 21 years old. I see him being at 135 for at least 3 more years. At least 3 more years. Then he goes to 140. Charles Bruce, he hit a nerve when he told Key, this your belt. Yeah, Keyshawn didn't like that. That's right, he took it. You didn't make wave. You didn't make wave, we would have fought already. Mr. KO, Mason Brothers over DB3. I like them out the ring too. Look, man, the Mason Brothers, they got to stay focused. Now that they dealing with this adversity, that situation that happened, you see that now they fighting in a different venue, not on the card to a Keyshawn Davis fight. All of that has to be a learning experience for them to make sure we don't make this mistake again. We raise our profile and get to where we're going, but we got to stay focused out there. Mike Ballard. What's taking them so long to get in a fight? Last fight was when he won the world championship. Ryan Basker, Murataya, it's a good fight for him. Tough prediction. So, look, you have to remember, Abdullah Mason was involved in a very, very tough fight with Sam Noakes. And when you're trying to protect your fighter, protect that brain, because he took a lot of hard shots, then you got to keep him out of boxing the minimum 6 months. Minimum. You even get suspended for 6 months. The Athletic Commission will automatically suspend you for 6 months. So Abdullah Mason is he still suspended right now? Let me see. I don't know if he's still suspended. But when you're in a tough fight like that, you're not going to fight in 3 months, for sure. You're going to fight in 6, 8, 9 months. So look, Abdullah fought in November. Right, that was in November. So we got December, January, February, March. 4 months. It takes time, bro. When you're involved in a fight like that one, he's only 21 years old, if you're really trying to protect your fighter, you're not going to put him back out there, after 3, 4 months. You got to let him really, really recover from that. K-Biz, Mason not ready for Keyshawn. I mean, I don't think he's ready for Keyshawn Davis right now, but he will be. He will be in due time. Mike Ballard, on that note, brother, I hear you. Because that was a tough fight. That was a fight, man. And candidate for Fight of the Year, in my opinion. Shackle hands, yes. That's suspension, but he's going to come back and fight a less opponent. But when you say a less opponent, how much lesser? Because when you become a world champion, that's it. You're most likely going to fight highly ranked opponents in most cases. So he might not fight a world champion. He's not going to be unifying, but he might fight somebody that's really good. Now, if I'm a matchmaker, then I'm going to match him up with a boxer. I'm not going to match him up with a puncher. I'm not going to put him in back-to-back fights with those type of fighters. Ryan Bascom, I do. Nose versus Mason was one of my favorite fights this year. I hope Sam makes a comeback. I think Sam Noakes is going to become a world champion. He showed us how good he was. Sometimes a fighter loses and it tells you this guy's going to be a champion because of the way that they lost. Sam Noakes lost, but he lost to Abdullah Mason. He didn't just lose to anybody. He lost to a generational talent, a future great fighter. But Sam Noakes can fight, my people. And he gave Abdullah everything in the kitchen sink. That was not an easy win. Shackle hands to stay up and down. That was a crazy fight. For real, man. They really went at it. Abdullah Mason showed us what he made of. Trent Thomas. He has to recover just like Wilder after that Fury fight. Yeah, you got to recover. It's been 4 months. Probably 2-3 more months. Like I said, minimum 6. Minimum 6 months after a fight like that one. So I think soon we're going to see him. And then, look, if he fights and he don't take a lot of damage and he make it look easy, then he'll be fighting within 3-4 months after that. But after this fight, yeah, you got to take some time. Mike Ballard, you're right. The letter M, unless Sulaiman is involved. That golf ball. Shackle hands, yes, that's correct. What you said. Wes does it. I went back to watch Adames versus Shiraz fight after his performance this weekend. Adames has been overlooked. My brother, I've been saying that, man. I've been saying that. Carlos Adames is one of those fighters who people seem to only remember his skills when he fight, when they watch him. They're like, oh, shit, he could do this. Oh, he could do that. Oh, they notice the things that he can do. But then they forget about him. Then when we talking about some of the best fighters in the game, he never comes up. But Carlos Adames is for real. He's the truth. Ryan Bascom agreed. Noakes and Mason could have a rematch someday to unify. Wouldn't that be something? And that could happen. That, you see, this is the type of fight that they had, that Noakes could become a world champion, and 2-3 years down the line, they could meet up again. K-Biz, Abdullah got dropped twice by Johan Vasquez. Johan Vasquez has 6 losses. It's a part of boxing. It happens. Abdullah Mason was like, what, 20 years old when he fought him? 20-year-old kid is going to make mistakes. It's a part of boxing. What's important is that he got up and knocked Buddy out. Wes does it. Peace, Box Center fam and Jay Smith. I'm tardy, but here now. Salute, family. That's what count, my brother. Jay is in that 43 likes. Come on, my peoples. Remember, there's no ghost watching. 2026, we done with the ghost watching. K-Biz, Keyshawn would whoop Abdullah bad. The letter M, Adames needs to promote himself more too. Rosa Andre, top of the morning, Jay Smith. Salute, bam. We in the building. The letter M, if I can put your shit talk cooking into Adames' body, bam, a star. We got it. Yo, listen, man, I spoke to Adames privately, man. I got to put him on. Shackle hands, yes, he got up and won. That's what counts. In boxing, anybody could go down. It's what you do after you get knocked down. Mike Ballard, do you think Terence Crawford will give Canelo a rematch? I don't think he's going to give it to him. I don't think he's going to give it to him. It could happen. You never know. But the way Crawford has handled himself after the fight, the way that he has talked after interviews, I don't think he's going to give him a rematch. I think Terence Crawford is retired and he's not going to allow somebody to offer him an amount of money that'll make him change his mind. Mr. Kill, stay talking about how Mason got dropped, but can't talk about how he got up and stopped dude. That did that to him. Sure, he got heart. Most champions couldn't do. But that's what I'm saying. You know, the fact that he got dropped doesn't mean anything. Anybody can get dropped. Is how do you react afterwards? Trent Thomas, knockdowns don't stop you. You see, a knockdown don't mean nothing if you lose. I dropped my opponents. I lost. The dropping them didn't get me the win. The letter M, Crawford would only come back for the super big bag, 100 million plus. Well, they asked him if he would come back for 100 million, and he said no. Think about that. They asked him, would you come back for $100 million. He was like, nah, not even for that much money. Wes Dustin, Terrence is enjoying his life. Finally, training gets hard on you as you age. That's 100% accurate. You get to a point where it's tough. And he said it himself. He said preparing for the fights was not easy. And that's not something that he wants to keep doing. So we have to see, you know, what he does next or all the different things that he's doing. I don't see Terrence Crawford boxing again. I just don't see it happening. You know, he's made a lot of money. He has investments. It's not just that he has investments. He also has endorsement deals. Crawford got all types of money coming in. That's what you have to consider. Ryan Bascom, have a good day, fam. See you guys tomorrow. Salute, family. Bam. Shackle hands. Yes, he does need to come back to see these goofies. Ryan Bascom, salute, bro. See you tomorrow, my guy. Look, there's some big fights to be made. I don't know what Ryan Garcia is doing, talking about, well, you know, in this case, Terrence Crawford is a hype job. He's overrated, and I'll beat him. I could beat him. I'm better than him. Ryan Garcia actually said that he doesn't believe Crawford is as good as a lot of people say he is, or as a lot of people think he is. Johnny Martin, Crawford said if he came back for $100 million plus, he would be selling his soul at that point. You see? That's what I'm saying. He's so confident about his retirement that I don't expect him to come back. And it's like you have to consider his accomplishments. Why does he need to come back? Why come back to give Canelo a rematch when you beat him the way that you beat him? If you told me that it was a split decision win and the boxing community is all saying, no, Canelo got robbed, Terrence Crawford got gifted that win, Turkey Al-Sheikh bought him that win. If it would have been that type of situation, then I would have understood it. Then I would have said, yo, Crawford should come back because that win, it wasn't a clear win. And a lot of people saw Canelo winning. So he got to really show that he could beat Canelo Alvarez. But that's not the case. We have to live in the reality. Terrence Crawford put the beats, the Dre, and the Apple beats on Canelo. Ain't no need to come back and fight him. Now you're the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. You're a 3-time undisputed champion. You made a shitload of money. You're the face of boxing. That's it. You good. You don't need to fight. Trent Thomas. Well, some people believe delusions. Aroma sound. He would have to go to heavyweight and fight Usyk for it to be even exciting. Look, I'm telling you, at this point in the game, Terrence Crawford pulled the Andre Ward. He accomplished more than Andre Ward, but what I mean is that he retired undefeated, retired a world champion, and he even retired #1 pound-for-pound in the world. Come on now. Come on, my peoples. The letter M. If they do a rematch and he beats Canelo worse, it's bad for Canelo's legacy. So, I'm going to be honest. Canelo's legacy is already built. I've never felt like a guy taking a loss is going to diminish his legacy. I never felt that way. Especially at the tail end of their career. People lose at the end of their career if they keep fighting long enough. Charles Bruce, retiring at the peak of your fame is such a bad move. Johnny Martin, Crawford isn't coming back, period. The letter M, Canelo can end it, a great career. Don't take another ass beating on the way out. And look, when it comes to legacy, I'm going to say this. If you look at Canelo's resume, he's one of the best fighters of this era, and one of the greatest fighters of all time. Canelo already, his legacy is made. He could get knocked out. He could fight in Billy next and get knocked out. Go to sleep. Legacy intact. So nothing is really going to take away what you already accomplished. He's already accomplished it. Now, could we put other fighters ahead of him in the all-time great list if he start getting beat up before retiring? Yes. People could surpass him. But that's it. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer no matter what happens from here on out. He could get knocked out in his next fight and knocked out in the following fight and then retire after being knocked out a third time in a row. He's still a first ballot Hall of Famer. Can't change that. Ronaldo, the only fight for Bud at all that I could see him coming back for that would be huge would be against Boots. Nah, I don't know how you can even see that, bro. Boots isn't even a world champion. I don't know how you could see that, my guy. Like, that's the one fight that I knew the ship sailed on it like 4 years ago already. The ship sailed badly on that fight. I'll put it to you like this. If Terence Crawford was to come back, if anything, it would be a rematch with Canelo because that's the fight that's going to make the most money. He'll be fighting the face of boxing. He'll be fighting the face of boxing. That's the fight to make. He's not going to come back to fight Jerome Boots Ennis. That's outside of the realm of possibility, bro. And Boots is at 154. No way. It just doesn't happen. Aroma sound. A legacy is something handed down from the past, typically referring to money, property, will to someone, or intangible values, traditions, and impact left by a predecessor. Pugilism. Got Canelo beating and Billy. As said before, Floyd, Bivol, and Bud carry Canelo's legacy. Those three losses beat any of Billy's wins and experience. Mr. KO, same with Manny when he got KO'd by Marquez. You see, Manny Pacquiao got slept brutally. He's still considered one of the greatest fighters of all time. Aroma Sound had to put the definition of legacy in the chat since people seem to be confused about what the word means. It's not about being undefeated. That's a fact. Rosa Andre, Canelo is going in the books whether you like him or not. Respect everything that Canelo has done for the sport. And I respect it too. You know why? Because if you remove, right, I want you to do this. Remove from the equation David Benavidez. If you remove Benavidez from the equation, Canelo for everybody. For everybody. If you look at the resume, anybody who was somebody, Canelo fought him. He got a Hall of Fame resume. So whether he lost or not, he lost to... Look at the fighters that he lost to. Terence Crawford, an all-time great. Floyd Mayweather, an all-time great. Dimitri Bivol, when it's all said and done, might end up being an all-time great. Canelo lost to great fighters, my peoples. Great fighters. Johnny Martin, what do you think about Floyd versus Pac-Man 2? I mean, obviously it's happening a little bit too late. The first one happened too late. The first one, they was already in their late 30s. Now it's happening in their late 40s. So it's a little bit too late, but we're all going to watch. We're all going to tune in. Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao are going to make people watch. Mr. KO, any fan would love the Crawford-Boots fight, but real fans know it's far from ever being made on paper. And I agree with you. I wanted to see that fight. I think we all wanted to see that fight. But there was a point where it became obvious that it was not going to happen. So most of us let it go. Like, okay, that fight's not happening. We don't got to talk about it. But then there's the fight fans who always root against Crawford, who thought that Boots could beat him. So they like, yeah, fight Boots, fight Boots, fight Boots. They keep bringing it up, even though the ship sailed on that fight years ago. K-Biz, we can't downplay what Usyk has done. the real pound for pound king. I mean, Usyk became undisputed at the cruiserweight division and then became undisputed at the heavyweight division. He's the number one pound for pound fighter in the world for a reason, for sure. Pugilism. Maypac 2 will be a shocking old man fumble fight with no PED or stem cell therapy in question. More action than the first fight. Look, I think that this second fight could actually be better than the first one. Because, you know, Floyd obviously used his footwork in the first fight, moved around a lot, Manny Pacquiao chasing him around. And because of that, the action wasn't what we thought it was going to be. Now, at 49 years old, is Floyd really going to have the energy to move around like that for 12 rounds? I don't think so. I think that he's going to be more willing to stop and trade with Manny Pacquiao. And because of that, this fight might be better than the first one. Trent Thomas. Most Hall of Famers have losses. That's a fact. Aroma Sound, the greatest legacy in the sport of boxing is Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson. And they both have multiple losses. Johnny Martin, I got Floyd by UD. K-Biz, Usyk number 1, Bud number 2, and Noah number 3. K-Biz, Terrence Crawford is retired. You got to leave him out the ranking. He's retired already. Godly Boxing Edits. You think Usyk is the face of boxing as of right now? No, Canelo's still the face of boxing. Canelo is still the face of boxing. Pugilism. Nobody cared Maypac 2 on stem cell therapies or PEDs because they old farts. The irony. The letter M. Boots cannot be Bud. Period. Levels. Mr. KO. Bud would have made Boots look ordinary. Crawford would have turned Boots into a Philly cheesesteak. Oh, man. Boots would have been Timberland. He would have been Timberland up. Mike Ballard. Like Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., his legacy, Roberto Duran, and the list goes on and on. Great fighters as well as Joe Louis and Rocky Marciano, all down in history. Ronaldo, bam! My peoples, I'm about to end this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I want to give a to everybody who tuned in this morning. Shackle Hands was in the building. Ronaldo, Mike Ballard, the letter M, Godly Boxing Edits, Johnny Martin, Aroma Sound, Trent Thomas, Pugilism. Everybody else who tuned in, my peoples, I appreciate ya. And you know what it is. Tomorrow, you are going to get another healthy dosage of sweet science, a.k.a. Boxing for Breakfast at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Whoa, my peoples. Ronaldo jumping on the super chat vibes right where we ending this thing off. Hell of a morning show. Much love from Texas. Texas is in the building. My peoples, there's only 16 of us in the building. Where you at right now? What city you at? I see that Ronaldo's in Texas. Where's everybody at, my peoples? Let me know where you guys at before we get the hell out of here and go on about our day. Johnny Martin, I love your channel. I like some of the other people boxing channel, but I like yours the most. I appreciate it, my brother. We're going to keep going hard. We're going to keep giving you guys this real boxing content. Aroma Sound, New York City, Ronaldo, St. Anthony, the letter M. Ooh, Brooklyn is in the house. Mr. KO, salute, y'all. Trent Thomas, Texas is in the building. Mr. KO, the Queens. Shag. My peoples, how I'm gonna freeze on the way out? No, I can't leave like that. The letter M. Shout out to Harlem World too. Bam. Johnny Martin. I guess that's the show. Much love, everyone. Trent Thomas, the word of the day. For those of you who still here, I'm going to drop out. But first, I got to give you the word of the day. Johnny Martin from Georgia in the building. Shackle Hands, Manhattan is in the building. Come on, man. We all over the place. All over the place. No wonder most of the viewers is from the U.S. We all over the place. My peoples, let me give you the word of the day. before I get the hell out of here. There's certain things that you only learn with time, that you can only experience them to understand them. So when you hear it, it might not make sense because you haven't lived it yet. But listen to these words, because these are some serious words of the day for you, my peoples. Friendship is something that when you're younger, you take it too lightly. Anybody's your friend. Anybody that you talk to, okay, we friends now because we was talking. But as you get older, you're going to understand everybody's not your friend. Even the people that call themselves your friends are oftentimes not your friends. So learn how to differentiate between acquaintances, people that you know, that you say what's up to, that you say hi to, that you're cordial with, versus actual friends. Don't make everybody your friends just because we hit it off. We cool. Hey, yo, what's up? What's the deal, yo? Hey. Don't make everybody your friend because of that. Because you will find yourself in the situation where you're getting backstabbed left and right. All in your back. They're going to stab the shit out of you. You know when it's a tough stab? When you stick your tongue out. When they stab you and you go, that's it. You know you cooked. So ultimately, my peoples, if you have a whole bunch of friends, then your ass is cooked at some point. Because you don't know how many of that crew, it never was your friend. If you have real friends, then that means it's just a few. If you have real friends, then that means you have 3, 4 friends. That's your peoples for real. And then everybody else is an acquaintance. You cool. So just remember to keep that in mind, my peoples. Everybody is not your friend. Be careful who you trust, because once somebody enters that circle that they're your friends, you start trusting them with shit that you don't normally trust anybody else with. And that's when they shit on you. Remember that phrase? And I want you to remember this, because this is you. You watching this screen right now, this is you. Remember that phrase, keep your friends close and your enemy closer? Did it ever dawn to you that you're the enemy that somebody's keeping closer? I've been that person. I've been the person that's like, that's my guy. This is my guy right here. And I didn't realize I was just the enemy they was keeping closer. So whether you realize it or not, there's people that keep you close, and to them, you're the enemy that they're keeping closer. You think that's your guy. And they just keeping the enemy closer, and that's you. Let that sizzle in your spirit. My peoples, one love to everybody who tuned in this morning. Once again, this was another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm about to get the hell out of here. Let's go make this money, fellas. We got to get this paper. Salute, fellas. Bam! Peace.